Greetings, exalted ones.
You are no match for me.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a Captain Phasma Killstreak breakdown. Now the star cards I'm using are on the screen there. I can't read the names as I'm recording it, the audio for this, but essentially the cards I've got are damage reduction during her survivor ability, which is a middle ability. The other one is for every kill she gets with her blaster, the heat on its blaster when firing is reduced. And the last card is increased rotation speed for her sentry droid thing. And as you can see, we're on Crait. So the biggest tip I can give for this kill streak is obviously to be a bit smarter when your survivor ability is not active. But you'll notice a lot, like when I have the survivor ability active, I get a lot of damage reduction, and that's when I start to be a bit more aggressive. Whereas when I've got when I don't have it active, you take more damage and you lose a lot more health. You will see that during this kill streak, and there are times where I do get lower health. So obviously being a bit more cautious when your survivor ability is not with you is something you really got to take into consideration. But if the three cards I've got definitely keeps damage reduction during survivor, that makes the biggest difference. It's probably the reason I survived so long, to be honest. In case for those of you who don't know, Phasma's blaster has dual zoom. I don't use the dual zoom. I only use the one because that's what I'm used to. I always aim for the head whenever I can, because once you start hitting your target, like after a few shots, her gun just gets really accurate. So always go for the head when you can. Don't stay scoped in too long, especially when your survivor is not active, because that's when you'll start taking damage. You need to be aware of your health pretty much the moment you don't have survivor active, basically. That's not the one ability you have to rely on with Phasma. You'll notice with her droid too, I don't stick by it too often unless I'm at a bit of a choke point, or if I'm as far forward in the spawns as I can go, like near the out of bounds area. That's the only times I'll use my droid. I'll be right near it. Other times I'll just use it. I just put it down as like a trap mechanism, but that doesn't always work in this mode, because they can always shoot the droid a lot faster. They can take it down easier when you're not next to it, so it just depends. Like, a bit of placement's important here with the droid. Obviously you don't want to be one of those players who camps near it either, so that kind of gets a little boring. So ideally what you want to do in here is just try and make use of the trenches, go as far forward as possible. Don't stick your head out for too long. You need to be able to see who's around. Thankfully with Phasma, if they stick their head out long enough, you can kill them, so which is pretty good. I only try and staff struck someone if they're like either not looking or if there's only like one person, but again, I just try and rely on a blaster. If I'm close enough, I'll do hip fire. No point zooming in when they're right in front of you. Usually majority of the time I'll hip fire anyway. So let's just try to scare this Luke here. Thankfully he was pretty smart. He wasn't swing spamming or anything, so I'll let him fall back. I kept my droid near me. And take use of recharge commands. Like, I had Was the Sith obviously recharge me a few times. Make the most of it. Like, when your survivor ability is active, just activate it, because even if you have the bonus health, you'll still keep the damage reduction for a bit longer. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But obviously I'm just getting the area here, making sure I don't stick out too long, find anyone that's got me lined up, or find someone I can kill. But the moment I take damage, I'll try and pinpoint where it is. But if I had the dual zoom, you'd probably be able to see a little bit better, but I'm actually I'm more accurate when I don't have the dual zoom, like when I don't use it. So that's just my personal preference, but if it works for you, go ahead. But yeah, I definitely try and play the trenches a bit. Because up close, she can definitely hold her own. She can kill them quick enough. Just got to make sure you play it smart though. Like, don't go outnumbered. Like, don't go and outnumber yourself with the enemy when your survivor's not ready. You just got to be really extra careful. I think usually the survivor's not active. I think it stops when you lose your bonus health. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. That was funny, I was trying to shoot past him, but my droid was in the way. As you can see here, look how much health I've lost already just by not having Survivor active. Like, that's how fragile she can be. So that's why I really recommend the damage reduction during Survivor. It's basically what keeps her alive. It's that ability basically carries her. But when I do lose a bit of health, I don't panic. That's the one thing you must not do, is panic. Because that's when you start to make mistakes. Now I knew there was a hero up there, and I knew he'd push me right now, so thankfully I had Survivor ready. But we had a pretty good teammate who was using the ATS team. See how well I'm winding up headshots there? And like, my gun doesn't overheat at all. That's where that star card comes in, like getting kills. Like, you'll be able to shoot for longer basically. It's so handy when there's groups of them and you just line up headshot after headshot. Like, it's really good. But the extra health is good for the Survivor. That's what I like that comes with it. You don't really need the extra health. If you play it smart enough, I think you're fine. Yeah, we're sitting at 24 kills, which I think anything around 20 to 30, like on this phase 1 for any hero is really good, especially when you kind of struggle to push up at times. Now, what I always do at the end of Crait here, like at this bit here, I go into the right trench with there's a trench on each side, like a doorway on each side of this trench. Then if you go left or right, depending on what side of the map you're on, you can go in this corridor like this, and it goes underground. So instead of going like up above where I get shot, I pretty much just walk through here. Well, run through here, I should say. Don't worry about that orbital strike thing. I think that's just a visual bug there. But since I was the only one just about here, I had my Survivor ability ready and I kept an eye out. I was trying to be a bit smart here. Thankfully I had a nice Sith Trooper escort. Especially since right now my Survivor's not active, I'm trying to play it really smart, because especially with the heavy shield, it'll take me a bit longer to kill them. But once it's active, I begin to push up again. And Wazza was smart enough to go around and do a flank, so we kind of boxed him in here, which is really good. So he did really well there. Kylo was smart enough to come follow me as well. I think we're just trying to get a good flank going. It actually ended up paying off. Like, I think a lot of our team was pushing the front, and then they started to push up slowly with us, I think. As I said before, we had a really good player in the ATST, so that was kind of handy. After not killing that guy, I kind of figured that they were overhealed, so I was prepared for a Finn. But still aim for headshots though. Like, headshots is probably the best thing you can do, to be honest. Thankfully I got some good health back by killing Luke, and I actually get Anakin here thanks to Kylo's freeze. So here, I end up getting a really important health there. That probably helps keep me alive for the rest of this streak, to be honest. But yeah, if you're lucky enough, sometimes you can see their health bar when you scope in, but as I said, you don't want to stay scoped in too long, especially when I don't have the bonus health from Survivor. That's when I really got to keep an eye out. But I can kind of see that we're pushing them back, so I can't just keep going. But I think you've noticed every time I kill an enemy, the heat goes down of the gun. That's the first. I don't always notice it when I'm playing, but I think as I'm watching this back and talking with you guys, I'm starting to actually notice it. Yeah. As I'm seeing, like, I'm killing people, and it pretty much the cooling restarts, and that's so good in like groups of infantry when there's like heavies or assaults, and just bang them in the head and just kill them. That's how I was able to get a few kills in succession during this streak, which was really nice. Yeah, we had a pretty good team though, so I didn't have to play too much objective work, thankfully. My team was really good at that. Even in this last phase, my team was pretty good. I did start to get targeted a little bit toward the end here, because I think people starting to realise that I was still alive. And I think after being a YouTuber, I think a lot more people start to recognise you, so they go, "Oh, we've got to get this guy." But just see how well she drills people with that star card, and the fact that the gun I'm using, pretty much like the cooling of the heat. Like heat, I don't know how to explain it, but you just see it, like the heat bar when you're shooting, it goes down when I kill someone. It's really handy. But as I said though, you do have to be careful when you're scoped in. Now I noticed 3 blaster heroes here, so as soon as my droid was destroyed, which I knew it was about to be, I kind of decided to back up and move. Especially like at the moment I don't have Survivor active, but those 3 blaster heroes there, I pretty much get drilled, so just trying to find my way in, trying to find any opening I can. Thankfully we're able to weaken Lando a bit though, which I did almost kill him, but I did decide to switch it up, go on the other side. Just try and find any way you can to get in. You do have to be careful though, because obviously there's 4 heroes in this. Like this is probably one of the more close quarter last phases from the I nearly said Naboo for some reason, but I knew they had a Yoda. I saw a Lando and a Leia before, but usually there's always like a Finn or a BB-8 or a Rey or something. So I'm kind of expecting myself to get snuck up on. So whenever I can, as I just did then, I try and let my squad mates spawn on me. Like as Waz he always looks to spawn on me first every time before he picks someone else. But as you can see, I am starting to get targeted a little bit more. But thankfully my team was pretty good at playing the objective, so I didn't have to do too much. I was more just trying to pick people off and keep them back. But that's what I meant, they're staying scoped too long. I did lose a bit of health, but that's why you really got to be wary of it. You got to listen out for the hit markers and try and see where the shots are coming from when you scope out. So they'll shoot my droid there, so I decided to move a little bit. But that's another thing you got to do, especially when you're a blaster hero. You got to really keep an eye on the minimap. And I'm getting shot from behind you. I see like listening out and then seeing the shot arrow go off. That's the type of thing I'm talking about. This guy was a bit of a smartass here. But it was kind of funny actually. I'm pretty sure he's a sub. I think he's one of Twisted subs too. I don't know if his plan was to distract me to let Rey come in, but she wouldn't get stunned straight away, so I was a little bit surprised. But thankfully I had Survivor ready, so then my team showed up. But yeah, you could see where the people starting to realize, oh, we got to kill this Phasma now. But yeah, that's where you really got to be keeping an eye out. And see, this Yoda was trying to do the same thing, so that's why I had my droid down, made him back up. So I don't, like, in the choke point like this, if I'm just standing like this, I don't mind having the droid here, because at least it momentarily protects me from being flanked. So I was just trying my best to kill people, or just damage them. I'm pretty sure they were overhealed, so I don't think I killed too many, but I just love the sound of her gun and just getting chain headshots together on somebody. It's really great, to be honest. She's definitely someone you don't want to sleep on with objectives, though, because if you have a good enough team, and she can work and push up there with them, so I was just trying to kill anyone I can. Obviously, scope out after like a good hit or two. But really, the biggest tip, obviously, as I said, is just make sure you have the damage reductions for Survivor Star card, and then the other two are personal preference from there. But I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but I thought Phasma would be a good one to do it on. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you all later.